Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of A Pretty Little Podcast. I'm Allie Violet Vixen Commissaro. Tonight, we are joined by Neil Preston Autry, the creative force and founder behind Western Evil Apparel. Known for blending outlaw grit with cutting edge streetwear, Neil carved out a bold identity in the apparel world. From rebellious designs to building a brand that refuses to follow the rules, Western Evil is more than just clothing. It's a movement. And we're diving into Neil's journey, the origins of the brand, and how he's turning a vision into a Western rebellion movement of fashion. Please welcome Neil.
Ooh, thank you very much. I appreciate you being having me here.
Oh my gosh. So let's just get started with, when did you start the company?
Ah, man, March of this year was 15 years. So it's been 15 years I started this. But I mean, this has been something that I've had my eye on since I was really young.
So, what first inspired you to create the brand?
Um, so initially, when I was a teenager, I was doing a lot of like graffiti and street art. I started spray painting T-shirts. I'd go to the thrift stores. I'd find kind of like different styled shirts that I thought were unique. They were old vintage shirts, and I would spray paint stuff on them. And I would wear them as one-offs. And the thing is, spray paint doesn't really hold up too good when you wash it. So I always wanted to kind of try more. Um, and eventually it was kind of a hobby. It wasn't really like a career path at the time. I thought, had my eyes set on working for the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department. So I pursued that, and when that didn't go through the way I thought it was going to go through, I got on and I ended up leaving. I didn't know what else to do, so I turned back to fashion and clothing that was like a hobby that I enjoyed doing, and that ended up turning into a full-time career.
So, what was the first piece that you kind of put together that actually ended up being part of the company?
So the first piece I did, it was before I even opened the company, and I have it tattooed on my body, like the whole side of my ribs here has a disembodied Elvis head, where it's like a front view and a side view, and it's a human spine that's kind of going down, and it's got like scientific, like if you look in biology book and you look and you see the layout of human biology of a spine and stuff like that. It's got little arrows pointing to like the pelvis and stuff like that, but it's got Elvis's head on the top. I did that first, just kind of like to test the waters, and I hadn't even started the company yet. So then when I finally decided to start the company, that was the first piece, because I happened to have a box of them that I'd already made and wasn't selling to anyone because I didn't have the outlet yet.
That's so fun. So, how did you create the name? Like, how did you come up with it?
At the time, I was working for a company in the mall. I don't want to give them any sort of plug because I hated my boss. Well, my general manager. My everyone else I worked with like were my best friends, right, from high school, and we all ended up working in a little mall store that sells like fart mugs, and like dick hats and personal vibrators, right? So you can figure out where I was
I
working.
kind of know where you're going with that.
But let's not name drop them. So all my best friends were like these metalheads, right? So like when we would have receipts or notes that we would leave for staff to one another, all my friends would like, scratch a big etchy pentagram. And I was kind of like a rockabilly kid. And so I drew my own as my sign off, and it was like a Western star, and it was just upside down. And to no big surprise, I tattooed that here on my arm too. That was the first company logo. Um, so that's really kind of like how Western Evil got started. I just liked that design that I drew. I'm actually a distant relative of Gene Autry, so like he's known for being a singing cowboy, and it just kind of fit. I wanted to go for a sort of Hank 3, but Gene 3, I guess, and it just fell into place that way.
So, did you have any background at all in fashion, or did you take any
No, so
courses?
so honestly, growing up, I got kicked out of high school, and I ended up having to teach myself high school. So I took introduction to business, and I took psychology, and I took art classes. I actually took commercial art design because that's what I thought maybe I would do.
Mhm.
Um, and so I learned, layouts and the commercialization of art that way. And then with doing the graffiti and the street art and stuff like that, it just meshed together. Um, but I mean, fashion wise, outside of kind of appreciating rock and roll fashion like the Clash and Elvis and stuff like that, I just would look at books and look at pictures of my favorite artists and designers, and that's the education I had. I didn't have any sort of college education. um, but I had determination, and that's what I ran with.
Now, how would you describe to someone that is not familiar with your brand? Like, how would you describe the identity of Western Evil?
Ooh, that's a tough one. The best way to describe it is just all the dumb shit that I'm into at that time. I basically turn into some sort of apparel. As the company has been in its 15 years, you can see the early stuff had a lot more to do with rockabilly music and horror, exploitation films, and then it kind of moved into true crime and punk rock still. And then the last couple of years it's moved more into kind of like maximalist western goth. So it really, I guess Western Evil is an extension of me and what I'm into at that time, and as an artist I'm always changing, and my interests are always changing, and it reflects in the art that I make.
Well, I started following your brand like really early on, showing off the bag. But
Nice. I
actually, that is not the piece that drew me to you. And unfortunately, when I went to order the piece, you didn't have it in my size.
oh man.
And I was wondering if it would ever make maybe
A
like a
comeback.
little flashback. I have a picture of the dress.
Well, when is it? Oh, I actually found a few of these in a box because we've had to move warehouses and move, locations a couple times recently, and I found some of those in a box, and
Do you have a small?
I did, and I just put it out on a rack for clearance at all of our pop-up shops, and I think it's gone. I think I just clearanced them all, like the ones I found. I'll take a peek. I'll see what I got.
Okay, if you find an extra small or small, like, definitely grab it because I was
Okay.
like, "Oh my goodness." But, to talk about ones that are on the site now that you've had quite a few styles over the years. Can we talk about Manson Mickey or Mickey Manson? What does
Yeah,
he go by?
the Mickey Manson, yeah.
Mickey
Mickey
Manson,
Manson
okay.
Club, yeah. So,
What
uh,
inspired this?
I grew up in Orlando.
Mhm.
As a kid, like I grew up going to Disney. My family worked for Disney, so we would get, 3 passes a month or something like that is what my uncle would get. So we would go fairly often to Disney. And then when I actually tried to really push with the company, I moved to Los Angeles, and then I came full circle. So my friends that I had in LA, as soon as I got there, they were like, "Oh, you have to get like a season pass because we go and we hang out." So it just Disney has always kind of been there, and I've parodied Disney a lot in my art. I think it's just so instilled in me from childhood that I can't help it. I mean, every kid in my generation who, whether you're 30 to 40, 50, like now, like we grew up on those home VHS Disney movies. Like our parents would be busy, you'd pop in Little Mermaid. There you go. Watch that back to back twice. So I think it's just kind of stuck in the brain, rattling around in there. So one day I was just trying to come up with something fun, and I'd already relied heavily on true crime, and I just threw some Mickey Mouse ears on Manson, and I put the body together, and it worked. He kind of became the temporary mascot at that time for what I was doing, with a lot of the true crime and kind of like cartoon parody of it. He worked perfectly, and I actually had someone do a rendering 3D of him to make figures. Unfortunately, it never happened. It never fell through, like pandemic stuff. Like, and it
Well, let's
never.
send that out into the world, like for somebody to do, because there's
Yeah,
tons of like
I think there's
people
like
that have those
three.
3D printers that do crazy stuff.
Right, I got the file, and I think there's three that exists out there somewhere. I don't even have one, but there are three of them out there. Um, so I have the file going, oh, one day I'll print it. I've never bought a 3D printer, so I've never done anything with it. But yeah, it's great. I love that design. I've used that design. I've had people steal that design. I've gotten into fights over people stealing that
That's what I
design.
was that was the next thing I was going to kind of ask you. Like,
Mhm.
what have you dealt with being kind of like the one behind that design? Because not only with that, but with Manson's family and like with like I mean, that was out before he had passed.
Yeah, yeah. I actually made quite a few sales when he did pass away. It was funny because a lot of people found it and bought it. I'm assuming just from Googling his name, and then there would be people like, "Oh, you're just cashing in on his death." I was like, "Well, I've had that design for quite some time now, and in different iterations." Um, but I mean, it is what it is. You know what's really funny is that like, I got into an altercation in Phoenix over some guy who had stolen the design, and he came by my booth and he was looking at the stuff, and I was like, look, man, just keep walking. I don't need you eye fucking my stuff for more shit to steal. And it blew up. It escalated into like a fight. We got separated. I thought it was entertaining. He was like, I didn't steal it from you. I stole it from someone else. I was like, you still fucking stole it. Someone else stole it from me and you stole it from them. Like, how does that justify what you're doing at all?
I stole it
But
from Timu.
yeah, I stole it from someone who stole it from you. So fuck you. Like, I don't know, whatever. But honestly, like, I get it. It's one of those things that it did well for me because it's such a simplistic design, right? It is something that like almost anyone could think of. You just go, oh, what are two big pop culture things, and then smash them together. Like, I mean, Marilyn Manson did the same thing. That's how he got his name. He literally just took Marilyn Monroe and Charles Manson, smashed it together, and then he's instantly got a stage persona. So I just kind of was going about what I was influenced by, and my influences are true crime, Disney, and pop culture, and I smashed it together, and I had a design that did really well for me.
Like, I'm sure you've had like some festive conversations with, first of all, Disney lovers that don't think you should cross the two. And like true
you
crime
know,
people, they are serious. Like
yeah.
they like really like
I
every
think
detail.
I've not really gotten too many negative responses in what I do. And honestly, like, to be honest with you, I'm starting to move away from true crime. Like it's such a heavy influence. I mean, like it even pursued me into doing a career in law enforcement, and my interest in criminology and all this stuff. Like I've had that interest since I was a teenager. But I'm a little older now, and I'm moving past it into other things. But for the time that I've been doing true crime inspired stuff, I've not gotten that many negative responses. I feel like I do that because I don't have that sort of response because I don't do it in a way of glorifying these people, right? Like I do it in a way of parody, um, and the glorification, like, is it's not really what I do with that. I think there's been one design that I've done that I felt like, okay, that's kind of glorification. Um, and that was of Eileen Warnos. And if you can look this up, I did one run of them, and I never did another run of it because I felt there was a little more glorification than I should have done. Um, but it's got a flower on the front of it, and it's the Florida state flower, and it says, Our Lady of Florida, and on the back of it has Eileen Warnos represented, kind of like the Lady of Guadalupe, and she's riding the crocodile from, or she's riding the alligator from Peter Pan, and she's got the whole halo around her, but she's in a prison jumpsuit holding the handcuffs up to her throat. It's honestly one of my favorite designs, but I felt like it was a little more glorification than I should have done. But that's the only one that I've ever done that even kind of tap danced into that area. So I get a decent response. Everyone gets that it's a little tongue in cheek, a little taboo, but still done funny enough that it's in taste.
Well, I love the serial killer dresses too with the mug shots. Like,
Mhm.
how fun. I love that your designs are almost like that perfect balance between like cute and girly and like also, well, the women's clothes, but it's
Mhm.
like they have that cute and girly like feel because it's a baby doll dress, but it's also got like that badass
Got a little bit of
vibe
edge to it,
going
yeah,
on.
yeah. And I like that, like I again, that's another one of the designs that I had ripped off so many times. And it's another one that's actually on clearance right now. I'm moving that design out. So if you didn't get that one yet, like, people watching, you better get it now because it's gonna be gone. Um, but yeah, that's another one that one I that's where the people were like, oh, you don't glorify these serial killers. It's like all of these are mugshots. All of these are people who have been arrested. This is an ode to criminology. This isn't an ode to, mass murdering psychopaths or serial killer psychopaths.
We're all
Um,
watching it and into it anyway. Like, I mean, it's okay for people to binge watch on Netflix and like the different streaming sites, all these things, but you're not allowed to wear it.
yeah, and I get it. It's not everyone's cup of tea, and it doesn't have to be. But for the people who like it and want to have conversation starters, that's exactly what it's for. Um, and not everything I do is for everyone. And I don't think people fully understand that mind frame today. Like it's either like, well, I wouldn't wear this or I wouldn't do that, so no one else should either. Well, okay, that's fine. But if you don't like it, just go buy something else. There's a mall full of clothing retail stores that you can go and buy, a cloud with a sun coming through that says happy day. But some of us are into some real dark shit, and we have a dark sense of humor, and that's what I put out there for people.
I love that you've evolved though. And I just want to like say this because we do have a lot of people that are in the country music, entertainment, like area. And your Western clothes are really awesome. Like you've got some really cool clothes for men. I
Thank you
mean,
very
there's
much.
not many, like, I mean, unless you're Jelly Roll or like somebody like that. I mean, like, it's hard to get men's clothes that really are a statement when you're going to a country show or that kind of event. And you've got them.
Thank you. And you know what? That hearing that, like that, it breaks my heart because you're absolutely right. I actually ended up starting doing the Western stuff because one of my favorite shirts that I bought when I was like 18 years old was this, like, it was like a silk white Western shirt with tassels. It had black tassels, and it was like my favorite thing. And I thought I had lost it. I thought I lost it while I was on the road, and so I was really upset about it. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to design a Western shirt that I want for myself, and I'll just make a run of it. If it doesn't sell, I can at least make enough back to pay for what I did make. And I'll just give it a shot. And it's something I had wanted to do since I started. Like that's kind of what I wanted to take the business in that direction when I started. And I just didn't understand the manufacturing game. I didn't understand anything outside of just t-shirt and silk screen printing. So once, I got more into that department, and I was able to go, okay, this is the fabric that I need. This is, the embroidery that I need. This is the design. I did it. I took a chance with it, and it did so well for me. I sold out over a weekend. I couldn't believe, like, I was in Chicago, uh, and I had put it online, and it sold out that weekend, and I had a 3-day drive back home to, like, get home in time to start shipping out these orders. It was great. It was such a good timing thing for me, and I was so pleased. Um, and I've been doing it now, and like I said, it breaks my heart because if you look at, like, the history of Western shirts, they're so maximalist. They're so over the top, right? Like, you can go something as easy as a plaid with, like, pearl snaps, and that's appealing to everyday, wear. But then you can do something that has, like, rhinestones and butterfly embroideries on it and tassels, and you go, okay, I feel like being a little fucking extra today, and then you can do that, like, and it's awesome seeing what I did for my own interest, for what I wanted, to seeing people wearing it on stage now. Like, I see a lot of people wearing it in their bands. I
Oh
see
my
it.
gosh, can we give a little shout? I know that that's not your style to like sit there and like say who's worn your clothes, but I want to know.
Oh, who's worn my stuff? Oh man.
Yeah, like who are some of the ones that you've seen personally, like in your clothes?
Okay, so the one that has been the biggest accomplishment to me, because he was so cool about it too, was Slash from Guns N' Roses. Um, and the way that that ended up happening too was Kirk Hammett from Metallica showed up at my booth, and I was kind of bending over. I was doing something. I stand up, and there's Kirk Hammett, and he goes, "I'll take that, 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 and that." And I was just like, "Fuck you, okay, all right." Like, and eventually, when I moved to LA, I get this call, um, and this person's like, "Oh, hi, I'm so and so. I represent Kirk Hammett." And honestly, I thought I was about to fucking get sued because I had a parody of, like, a Metallica Hall and Oates mashup that he saw, and he was like, "Oh, that's funny." And I was like, "Oh fuck, this they're gonna sue the shit out of me." Like, I don't know. I'm just stopped living out of my car. Like, I was living in a hearse. I'd moved to LA and saved up enough money to get an apartment. And I was like, "Ah, fuck, I'm fucked." And he was like, he'd like to invite you to set up at the Chinese Theater in LA. And I was like, yeah, I'm there, man. I'm there. And he brought over, like, Slash and Glenn Danzig, and Slash looked at some stuff, and he's like, "I'll take that and that." And I was like, "Look, man, like, I'm a huge fan. Just take it. Like, it's on me." And Slash, like, looked at me, and he goes, "No, man." He's like, "This is your art. Like, I'm gonna pay you for it." And I was just like, "Oh, okay, all right." Like, I didn't even charge him full price, but just the fact that he was like, "No, man, like, let me buy these from you because this is your art." Like, it was a moment that instilled, like, value in me, because one, that's someone saying, "No, like, don't just give this shit to me. Like, this is your hard work.
Mhm.
Take the pay for it." But it was the fact that it was someone who I thought was so cool, and, like, fashion wise, he was an icon, right? Like, the top, Slash as soon as you see him. You got the top hat, the glasses, the cut off shirt, the ripped up jeans. Like, these are identifying things of Slash that everybody knows and everybody recognizes. So being encompassed into that look was a big deal for me. And then I see him in a documentary like a year later wearing one of my shirts in this documentary. And then I see him on stage wearing it. And it's just like, it's such a big morale boost, in the times when, like, I could barely scrape together rent. I see someone who I was influenced by wearing my stuff. Um, and there's a few more. I mean, Kirk Hammett wore stuff in Metallica promos. Um, there's people that, like, I really admire, and I see them in my stuff. I've seen the Damned wearing my stuff. I see a lot of, like, up and comers lately wearing my stuff, which is good. People who are just now kind of getting their breaks in music industry, and they're sending me videos of them on stage. Like, it's a good feeling.
You kind of cover all the bases. You cover like that all like Warp Tour, like like scene kid kind of thing, like clothing, and then you also have like I'm gonna show up and yeehaw, like let's do this. Like,
Yeah, I want to cover all bases. I don't think there's enough options out there for men when it comes to fashion, right? Like guys look at things and they're like, "Oh, I can only wear a t-shirt and jeans and a hoodie." And I'm like, "No, man, like peacock a little bit, right? Like strut your shit, like it's cool." Um you look at the animal kingdom, and the brightest animals out there are always men, and it's time to peacock a little bit, time to strut your feathers, like get the
I
attention.
love that.
And it doesn't matter, like if you're a little chubby or you're too skinny or whatever you think about yourself, like find the confidence in yourself to wear what you want to wear, because at the end of the day, like no one else's eyes are going to be judging you when you're, alone and in bed dying, and you're going to go, "Oh shit, I wish I would have done more to express myself, or I wish I would have done this or done that." Like those regrets don't need to be there. Just live however the fuck you want to live, dress how you want to dress. Like it's not anyone else's business but your own.
I was showing my son one of your TikToks where you're dressed in like this like green velvet jacket. And I
Yeah.
was like, what do you think about this? Like this would look kind of dapper. And he's like, yeah, I don't think I can pull that off. And I'm like, no. And I was like, well, he's actually got clothes for like both sides of the fence. And he's like, I don't think I could pull this off yet, mom. Like maybe one day, but like not right now.
You sure as fuck can pull it off. You can pull it off if you want to pull it off, right? Like I go to the fucking grocery store in leather pants. I don't give a fuck. Like, um, hopefully, like when my son is older, he'll dress kind of like out there. But more than likely, what's gonna happen? He's gonna look at his dad and be like, "My dad dresses loud enough for everyone in the room that like he'll probably end up just wearing like jeans and an Abercrombie shirt or something." I don't know. Um, but yeah, like I know the video that you're talking about, and it really just came from someone who was kind of being negative on themselves. And I don't really like seeing that at all, because like you hold yourself back. And you shouldn't. People shouldn't. You should live and dress how you want to dress and how you want to express yourself. I mean, as an artist, like I get paid to express myself. Like that's my job, right? If I want to express myself by doing true crime stuff, that's how I'm going to do. If I want to express myself doing Western stuff, that's what I'm going to do. And it's worked for me, and I've been able to monetize it. So no one's asking you to make money off of how you look, just trying to get you to dress how you want to dress. It's not that big of a leap.
You know what helps you though? You're not in competition with anyone. Like I've never seen you post anything putting anyone else down in any way. Like that really helps. Like that adds to your vibe. Like, you know, and I've followed you a long time on like all the different social media. And I mean, I've never seen anything where you're even like giving off that vibe where like you're always focused on what you're doing. Like you always have something cool. Like, what was it? There was a hyena in one of your videos.
I don't even remember. But honestly, like I'm negative as fuck. Oh, I'm negative as fuck. Like at home, like I am like a master shit talker. But I'll never fucking put that out there, like because it doesn't do me any good, right? Like if someone else is competing with me and either stealing my designs or whatever else, like that means it's time for me to find something new, right? Like if I'm not staying a step ahead of everyone and trying to be positive and move forward, then I'm going to fall behind. And this is how I make my living, like this is what I love to do. So why brood on the negative aspects or brood on my competition? Like there's a lot of people who I know, who I'm friends with now, who came to me after I had started, and they're like, "Hey, I saw what you did back in 2010, and I bought something from you, and I thought it would be really easy to do what you did, and so I kind of copied a couple of your things, and I set up at a show, and I didn't do so well." And I'm just like, "Oh, that fucking sucks. Like, sorry to hear that. Like, but at least you took the chance on yourself. Like, a lot of people don't ever take that chance on themselves." And then we become friends because, like, I don't go, oh fuck you, like you stole shit from me or you ripped me off. Like, no, man, I'm glad that I inspired you to take a chance, like, but the thing is there's me. Like my stuff is a reflection of me. And don't try to copy other people. Do it because you want to do it and because you want to express yourself, because that comes out in your art. Like that comes through in what you're doing. It's it adds a level of legitimacy to it. So don't try to be anyone else. Just try to be you. There's enough people out there that like the same things you like or have the interest in the same things you do, that they'll connect with that. And when you are authentic, they will support you. So I try not to be like a shit talker on other brands because I want everyone to succeed. Yeah, I can show you I've succeeded. You can do it too.
Now, how is it for you with social media like TikTok? Because TikTok moves so fast. Like, I mean, you post something like, I mean, it can really skyrocket. How has that been for you with the company and with selling?
Well, the last year, I've gone through a lot of like really big life changes. Like a year ago, I was living in Phoenix, um, and I just had my son. And my girlfriend at the time ended up getting a gig working with the Smashing Pumpkins, so we had to like move. But literally at that time when she got that gig, I was at the height of my momentum for my company. I had broken all the records that I had ever done financially. Like it was the best year I had ever had. And suddenly we had to pack up and we had to move, and I had to be a stay-at-home dad and manage a business that is bigger than it's ever been, and it's literally just me. I'm one person doing everything. I'm doing the designing, I'm doing the shipping, I'm doing the customer service, I'm booking shows for myself, like, and then suddenly I'm having to be a dad 24/7 on top of that, and it got too much for me, and I backed off of social media altogether. So I disappeared for a little while, and I just needed to kind of work out a little bit of that. I just need to find a new foundation and rebuild a foundation that could support that momentum and that life change that I'd welcomed. I loved that. I loved that for her. I loved being a stay-at-home dad. But to do a stay-at-home dad thing, I still had to have a source of revenue coming in, and I couldn't just ignore it completely. So I took that year, and I've now have employees. I got my best friend Pat is on the road doing pop-up shops for me.
Was that
I
hard
have
for you?
honestly
Just
no.
following you, like, I know how, like, you're so on top of everything, and, like, you really do overlook every aspect of it. Was it hard for you to actually let somebody else help you with that?
In certain aspects, yes. In certain aspects, no. Like honestly, I've been up and down the road across the country. I don't know how many times. For 15 years, I've driven coast to coast. I've seen every town in the US that I've wanted to see. So having someone on the road for me and having a team now on the road for me, I'm fine with, right? Like I don't get to go and eat at my favorite like stuffed sopapilla place when I go through New Mexico. That's okay. I could lose a few pounds. So I can deal with just not doing that, right? Um, but yeah, the aspect of controlling the business, I had to learn to relinquish. And thankfully, I got such a good team and so much help from my girlfriend and from my Pat and from Pat, my best friend, and the people that I hired. They made it really easy because I have so much trust in them, and I understood that like okay, they have my best intentions at their forefront of their mind, and how they're doing things. And if they don't do it how I do it, that's fine because it's one less thing that I had to do and had to stress about. So
Mhm.
if they're doing their best, then, and I know that all the time. And if they go, okay, I messed this up, and I go, okay, don't worry about it. I can fix that. It could take me 5 minutes to fix. But you did something and handled that to a degree that it didn't take me an hour or 2 hours out of my day to handle. So a 5 minute fix is doing me a big favor. So I
Mm.
welcomed it. Like, um, and you have to learn that like you can't do everything. And I've seen that relinquishing some responsibility has allowed me to grow and do better in other parts of the business that has only been healthier for my own personal stress and my business. So it's been a godsend, a welcoming. I should have done it earlier. Like I'm behind, I feel, on the growth of the company because I put it on my shoulders as one person for far too long.
I feel like you've really grown though, and I can't wait to see what's next with designs and just where you take it. And before we hop into what's next, I do want to ask, where are the pop-up shops?
So we have a few left for the year. I do a lot of the Oddities and Curiosities expos across the country. Next year, I'll be doing even more as long as they let me be there. So we have one in Las Vegas coming up in September and Salt Lake City. October, we have Portland, Oregon, Seattle, Washington, Sacramento. And then in November, we have Oklahoma City and Tampa, Florida. So, I mean, we still got a good part of the year that you can kind of find us if we're anywhere in your neighborhood. You can go check out the Instagram, Western Evil, and there is a photo pinned at the top that shows the dates that we'll be on. Um, so yeah, anytime there's a good convention or expo, or it's horror or tattoo or oddities, I try and be there.
Now, if somebody wants to have you come out to a show, how do you suggest that they get a hold of you?
There's a contact form on the website. You can reach out that way. You can reach out through Instagram, sending me a message that way.
All
Um,
your info is running at the bottom.
yeah, and just reach out. Just be like, "Hey, Neil, like I've got this show going on. Like, are you interested in doing it?" Usually, I book out for the year in advance, so I
I
know
bet.
all the dates I'm doing for that year. So, and now, like I said, with Pat being on the road, handling a lot of those pop-up shops, and we have a couple other people that do regional shows with him. Hopefully, we'll be doing more next year. So if you want to reach out, just hit me up.
Sounds good. So let's get into it. What's next for you, Neil?
Okay,
Always
so
working on something.
yeah, because I can't stop. I've actually started moving into two new companies. So Western Evil, I think I would like to keep it, goth alternative, punk rock in an affordable range for people. And then I'll be doing a new company that's called Diamond, and it will be featuring more high-end clothing, right? So we're going to be using a lot more expensive materials, a lot more unique washes and designs. I'll be tapping into licensing stuff with different musical acts. So you'll be able to find some of your favorite bands on really unique, soft, super high quality shirts. And then I'll be opening a kids line. Um, it's something that I've wanted to do since I've had my son, and I want to keep it completely separate from Western Evil and the high end company. I just don't want that crossover. Like kids don't need to have horror and true crime like I represent in Western Evil represented in this way. So it's going to be a lot more goth kids with a cartoony kind of vibe to it, something that's comfortable and cozy and good quality but still like out there for the alternative and goth parents, because being and like a punk rock dad, a goth dad, like there's not enough good options out there for my son. When I want to buy him something, like we actually made a little hoodie that's got like bat wings and studs on it and stuff like that. And he put it on, and the first thing he did was he started flapping his little wings in the little bat wing hoodie. There's like a Bigfoot button-up shirt, and he put it on, and he's like, "I love my shirt!" Like, so I'm getting the approval of my son on everything. So if it's good enough for him, like I want to put it out there for everybody else too.
So if your son and a celebrity's child could come on and do your ad campaign, what celebrity child would be with your son?
Oh my God, I don't know. Like, geez, you know, um,
A lot of people are
I
having
think
babies.
I
So, I
know.
mean, like, you'll,
My girlfriend just worked with Slash's kid, but he's an adult. I think he's like 19 or 20 or something like that. So I guess he's out. But like, I don't know. Who knows? I'm not up on the celebrity game. Who's having kids? Who are some celebrities that have had kids recently? Um,
well,
oh,
Nick Cannon keeps shooting them out.
oh, yeah. Oh, I got it perfect. Okay, Billy Corgan just had a baby, right? So let's do that. Like,
Yes.
he just celebrated having, another child. Congratulations to him. So in a few months, once the business is up and going, let's put him in like a little pumpkin T-shirt or something like that.
Oh my
So
gosh, I could so see you like redoing the zero like statement shirt and
yeah,
making
like
it
some
your own. Like, oh my gosh.
a
Yep,
little
let's put
zero
out
shirt
that
and,
out in
and
the
some like
universe too.
some silver like leather pants. Like perfect for kids sized leather pants.
Oh my gosh, that would be so cute. I can't even wait. What's the name of what name are you going with for that? Do you have any ideas?
So the kids company is called Hauntlings Boutique and Haberdashery. You can find it at Hauntlings Boutique on Instagram, and
Okay.
it's still coming soon. But hopefully, it'll have its opening in October. Be ready for kind of like the holiday season and stuff like that. So I'm trying hard to keep up. I got a team behind me. But like I said, even right now, I'm doing the full time dad stuff, like solo parenting, until my girlfriend gets back. And then I'll be able to kind of spread my wings a little bit and get out of the house and get back in the shop.
And you scooted like right over Diamond. Like, let's talk about that. What's your
Mhm.
vision for that? You said Broadway, like musical shows?
No, 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 no. Like bands, like working with bands. Like, I have a long list of bands that I would be licensing, their IP for. So like, um I don't. Ooh, it's tough to kind of throw this out there this early. Really good unique punk bands, really good rock and roll bands. I would love to get like the rights, something like Ozzy, and have like unique Ozzy Osbourne stuff. Um, but it's really bands that influenced me
Hmm.
growing up. I want to make unique stuff for. And I've lined up, licensing and stuff like that with a lot of people already, and I'm just kind of building those products quietly behind the scenes. So when it's time to pull the trigger, I go, "Hey, like this, and this is ready to go, and we want to put this out publicly and push this." Um, and it's something I want people to experience, like higher quality. Like you can go to the mall and you can get you can get like a Smashing Pumpkins shirt for $20, and then you go, oh, it's just like really thick cotton on a Gildan shirt because that's what they sell at the mall. I want something that you're going to hold on to for 20 something years and go, this is like one of the most comfortable shirts that I have ever owned in my life. And I
We were
do some
just
of that.
talking about that the other day, my friends and I, about how like there's nothing like those vintage t-shirts.
Right.
Like you were saying, I have an Aussie one that like there's just nothing like it. Like that design is in there for the long haul. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you could literally like jump in like water and go through like basically do the tough mutter or whatever in those t-shirts and they'd still you'd be able to wash them and they're good to go. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I know that like when I put this out, like I think I don't want people to be kind of like shocked by the sticker price initially, because I want them to realize that like what I'm trying to do with that company is give a high end kind of brand for something that you're going to hold on to for a long time. Something that like if I'm in my 20s and I buy a t-shirt, And then like, in my 30s, like have kids and my kid wants to wear that shirt. Like that's what I'm going to be making with that company. Something that you're going to hold on to and pass down because it is good quality, it is unique, it is something that is a staple to every like alternative or like rock and roll dad or teenagers kind of closet. That's what I want to make with that. Um and fast fashion like is kind of like the name of the game for a lot of people now, like Shein and Temu and stuff like that. And I don't want that. Like I want something that you're going to look at like in 10 years and go, that's my fucking favorite shirt. That's what I want to make with that company.
I've noticed about that, and like I'm not gonna lie. I mean, we're all guilty of like some stuff here and there. Like, I mean, it is what it is. But whenever you like get a T-shirt that like it looks like it has like a full skull with like flowers or whatever, whenever I get it, it like the skull is like not really like formed right, and like the fire is like crooked. It's not
Dude,
like
it's
going out like you get what you pay for. So I mean, like to me, that's important.
Yeah, 100%. And you know what? I gotta throw a shout out to the dudes from Calabrese. I did their podcast like years ago, and they lovingly referred to me as a creepy Calvin Klein. And I loved that. I loved that so much that I was just like, oh man, I want to start like a high-end company. Like I want to do that. I want to make stuff that's like this. Um, and so they were a little bit kind of an inspiration in that by dubbing me the creepy Calvin Klein. It opened up a whole new door in my mind. I was like, fuck yeah, we're running with this. So, um, but yeah, back to not to go off, back to that Shein stuff. Like one of my friends is a photographer for my company. He sent me a picture. He bought an Ozzy Osbourne shirt off of Temu. When he saw it, it was a full body print. He's like, I wanted something for the gym. When he got it, it was like an 8.5 by 11 image that someone just like ironed on to a fucking t-shirt. Like, and he's
It
like, oh
started
man,
peeling, just you taking it out of the wrapper.
yeah, it's and I've tried to convince my girlfriend that like stuff on Shein and like stuff like that, just don't even fuck with it. Don't even buy it because when it gets there, it feels like plastic. It doesn't fall the way it looks in the pictures. It's that fast fashion stuff. It's out to get you. But there is some shit on there that I'll see. I'm like, oh, that looks fucking cool. Like, but I know better. I know the tricks. So
I get like caught up with like the stupid weird stuff that you don't really need, but like it knows from the cookies that you like that kind of stuff. Like I know I'll get hit with like spider webs that are like stained glass windows that go in the corner of the window, and I'm like, you know, I'm a sucker because like I fall for that, and then it comes and it's like so
it's
tiny that like it wouldn't even work.
it's I know, man. I've been the victim of the Wish app and the Temu and
Dude,
the
the best. Oh,
Shein.
wait, well, oh my god, this is the
Uh,
best ever. Like this will make you laugh. So somebody had got me what are they called? The rabbits with the horns.
a
Ja-
jackalope.
a jackalope.
Mhm.
Somebody had got me a jackalope, right? And they just ordered it, and it was so I'm like all excited because like the person usually like it gets me like something really good. So I'm like all ready to open this thing, and I'm like not knowing what it is, but like anticipating it. Dude, I opened it and he had ordered it off of one of those sites. Like
Oh
he's
no.
like, I just ordered it like just randomly. And first of all, it had no horns. The thing, like, I have it. It's away with my Easter, my Easter items because it's more rabbit than jackalope. But oh my god, I just took pictures and I was like the Sheen version or the Wish version of the jackalope. But
Oh
yeah,
man.
it brought us so many laughs. But you
We're all
definitely get what you pay for. I'm so
we're all
excited that you're
guilty of it.
going in that direction.
Yeah, I want to kind of like create options, right? Like I understand that not everybody can afford like higher end stuff, right? And that's fine. Especially when you're young, like especially like when I was a kid, right? Like I would have died for a company like Western Evil when I was like a teenager. I try to keep things affordable. I try and keep things really good quality, and I try and keep things unique with that company. Um, so that's going to be there. Like that's always going to be there. And with this one, I with the licensing stuff, I have to pay for that. I have to those people see a cut of that, and that's just the deal. So I do need to make sure that it's unique, and to do that, I want to separate it from stuff that you can get at the mall. And to do that, it has to be better quality. It has to be something that's going to last you a lifetime, and it has to be something that you put on and you go, I never want to get out of this shirt. And then I want to offer something for the goth parents that there isn't enough stuff out there. So hopefully I have the whole board covered, and next year, like you'll see it up and running. So I hope everyone is ready for it.
Oh, that's so exciting. So with online, as far as you reaching out and getting influencers and other people involved in wearing your brand and posting online, like where are you kind of headed with the new companies versus like what you've done with Western Evil? Because you've done that all on yourself. Like when you're
Yeah.
dealing with the bands, like are you gonna have regular models? Are you gonna do it, or are you gonna have the bands kind of play a part in that?
I haven't really decided yet. Like I think I've been burned so many times by influencers and people with big accounts where like they'll ask for something and I'll be like, yeah, if you promote it, like here it is, it's yours. And then like I get back like Timu quality photos. You know what I mean? Like that's that we're talking about Timu and Wish app stuff that, and I'm like, okay, well that photo that you posted to show off like, like in your bathing suit, like that quality is amazing. That looks like it could be printed in a magazine, and what you gave me was shot on a cell phone in your mirror. Like that's not it. So like it I've been burned so many times with that I was just like, fuck this. I can do this myself. Like I'll just do this myself. Um, and with this company, I don't really want to be the face of it. So I want to be the face of Western Evil because that's what is out there, and people have come to know me as. With this other one, I want to be the fashion designer for it, and I want other people to model that and present it in a way that it looks like it feels just high quality and professional. So I've gotten together a couple photographers, and they'll handle the models and all that stuff for me. So it's out of my hands with that kind of stuff. Um, but of course, like when it comes to promotion work and stuff like that, like it's something I'll handle across the board on all three companies. Um, so it just it's more work for me to do,
You have a lot
but
going
I'm
on.
but I'm trying to outsource more of that work. Yeah.
Well, we're at our hour, and I promised that I would keep it around there. So I will wrap it up. But thank you so much for taking the time to come on. And definitely, everybody listening, go on and follow Western Evil, follow Neil. He's always posting really fun stuff. So I mean, like he's not like a boring content creator. He actually is posting stuff that you want to watch.
Yeah, I'll bombard you with toxic positivity about wearing what the fuck you want and just doing whatever the hell you want to do.
And just a reminder, because I can't believe I missed the dress. If you do find an extra small or small, oh my God, please message me immediately.
Okay. Yeah. Shoot me a message. There's a couple boxes I think that still have like a bunch of stuff in it. I'll check them out. Shoot me a message and I'll see what I got.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no
Thank you
worries.
so much.
Thanks for having me.
Definitely. Thanks, everyone. Make sure to tune in next week. We'll have another great guest and another great talk. Bye.